What makes a video game memorable? It could be the characters, the story, music, environments, playstyle, or a combination of a few of these things. There are certain levels that stick with us long after we've played them. They are carefully crafted environments that only exist in digital form, though they carry much more weight than just being entertainment. On first-time visits, their designs evoke wonder, memories are born and carried for a lifetime. With subsequent playthroughs, you remember your initial thoughts and gain new memories. Great games have these places in their code. If they didn't, we wouldn't remember them. Even lesser quality games have a single, or maybe even a few good levels. These are a few places that have created these memories. The Legend of Zelda series has many remarkable areas built for Link to explore. Each game has places we fondly remember. The Lost Woods in A Link to the Past, the Temple of Time in Ocarina of Time, and the beach in Link's Awakening. Breath of the Wild is the most realistic Zelda game in the series. Even though you can do some unbelievable things, it's still rooted in believable territory. The Hyrule Nintendo crafted for this game is absolutely amazing, and it's almost impossible to pinpoint a single favorite location. Zora's Domain and the path leading to it is one of the best moments in any Zelda game. Being led by glowing path markers through groups of enemies is wonderful. There are also side paths that lead you to some of the Zora's history carved into the rock surface. You guide Link forward on the path and over bridges, while the silvery metallic architecture stands out against the natural world. It's something that was well thought out for the game, but that's just the build-up. You cross the final bridge, lined the entire way in archways glowing against the dark, rainy sky. The familiar music from past iterations of Zora's Domain quietly builds until the whole screen is filled with the pleasant blue glow of the Zora structures. Then you finally get to see Zora's Domain, and the town is gorgeous, surrounded by high cliffs and natural waterfalls. Water flows and cascades off the structure into the pool below. Small pools adorn each tier. It's very sophisticated with a blend of ancient and futuristic design. There are two statues. The center statue is of Mipha, one of the champions, and the other is a giant homage to Jabu Jabu from Ocarina of Time. It's the main focal point of the area. The quests surrounding this town complement just how great this place really is. Everything about it is amazing, and it stood out as one of the most memorable moments in the entire game. Older games aren't really known for their realistic weather effects, especially games on the Super Nintendo. In 1994, a game came around that changed that. Donkey Kong Country didn't look like any other game that had been made for the Super Nintendo. It was hard to believe that it was a Super Nintendo game, but it wasn't just the graphics that made the game good. The controls are super tight, the level designs are great, and the way they used those graphics really made this game stand out. They took Donkey Kong away from the construction site and made him a good guy. He now had a whole country to explore. You navigate Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong through many impressive environments. The second level in the game has you running through a rainstorm with lightning flashing. It's a great looking stage. The transition that occurs at the end from rain to sunshine is one of the highlights of the first area. But that's not the most impressive level in the game. That goes to the first level in Gorilla Glacier. What sets it apart from every other snow and ice level is the atmosphere that so perfectly captures what real life is like at high altitudes. It has the Kongs navigate a believable slippery, snowy mountaintop while also braving a whiteout blizzard. Not only do we get the full effect of the snowfall slowly catching up to us from the background, but it also starts obscuring our field of view and overtaking the surrounding landscape. The music expertly creates a tense and dangerous feeling as you take on the snowy mountaintop. The background grows dark as the clouds move in. Then snow starts falling on the distant peaks. Next, the sky begins to turn gray as the storm clouds begin to block out the sunlight. The peaks then start to fade away into the massive gray storm, until they disappear completely to a fully foreboding blizzard. Snow continues to inch closer to the characters as the nearest tree has now begun to succumb to the snowfall. The storm is now between the characters and the trees. You then burst out of a sequence of barrel blasts into the checkpoint, and the clouds release their fury on you. A whiteout blizzard takes over Donkey and Diddy. The music during this sequence is very atmospheric, making you feel how tense the situation is. It's amazing that a game made for the Super Nintendo was able to do this. 2 levels over and you get to go back into the blizzard and watch the process in reverse as the storm retreats. It's a very memorable moment and a definite highlight to the game. One of the really good things the Wii U had going for it were the games, and it had quite a few. One of those games launched with the Wii U, and it was a Mario game. Yeah, Mario. Well, a new Super Mario Bros. Game. It's probably the least remembered mainline Mario title in recent history. You might have played it on the Switch. The game is a standard New Super Mario Bros. Outing, but this time you can wear a flying squirrel suit. That aside, levels are what you would expect to see. Bright, sunny, snow, lava, dancing turtles, you know, the standard stuff. But once you get to Soda Jungle, things get interesting. The big enemies from Mario 3 make a comeback early on in the world, which was great to see, but the real diamond here is Painted Swampland, a level in the style of a Vincent van Gogh painting. The background is styled with swirly brushstrokes in motion, while the foreground pipes and land look like they are painted on a canvas. It somewhat resembles Yoshi's Island from the Super Nintendo. The eerie haunted forest mood adds to the superb art direction. Mario, the coins, and the enemies are all lit from below, which casts heavy shadows on their models. Everything is brightly colored with heavy black contrast. Mario runs to the right, avoiding boos, piranha plants, and a deadly magenta lake. It's just a great looking stage. Near the end, you come across a giant Bowser in the same art style as the background. It's a nice touch to an already gorgeous stage. It's by far the most memorable level in the game, maybe in the entire New Super Mario Bros. Series. The Switch had an incredible first year. The two most notable titles that came out that year were Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Both remain some of the best games on the Switch and will go down as the most iconic on the system. Breath of the Wild is an open-world game where you can explore any part of the map at any time. Mario Odyssey is split up into different kingdoms. All have distinct differences which makes them unique. From an ancient world to a crowded metropolis, there are many places to explore and delve into. Many would say that New Donk City would be the most memorable in the game. It was heavily marketed before the game's release. But what really stuck out was the Lost Kingdom. It's a brightly colored level, though it's draped in shadows. The sun is stuck just below the horizon, making everything feel like it's becoming active right before the light cascades onto the land, or everything is coming out for the night as the darkness takes over. We never know what time it really is. This change in thinking makes for fun playthroughs. The sky is also somewhat overcast, making the sun's light that much more magnificent. You are surrounded by the same magenta lake from Painted Swampland in New Super Mario Bros. U. That adds to the colorful environment. Butterflies are flittering in the foliage while cliffs rise in all directions, meaning you will be doing some climbing. Strange accordion-like creatures are used to reach far platforms. You find yourself extending over the deadly lake and it all feels right. The music in this kingdom is some of the best that has ever been made for a video game. It evokes the feeling that you are really in a lost kingdom, far from anything you are familiar with. From top to bottom, this kingdom is fantastic. It remains one of the best levels Nintendo has ever made for a video game. The opening to Bioshock is one of the most impactful in all of gaming. You're on an airplane in the year 1960, when all of a sudden the screen goes black and you hear the sounds of the plane going down into the ocean, while the Bioshock logo slowly appears out of the black as if it were just pulled out of water. You wake up under the ocean surface, watching passengers' belongings and luggage drift into the abyss. You start swimming to the surface where you are surrounded by the plane's wreckage engulfed in fire. It's chaos. As you swim away, you see the tail of the plane sticking out of the water, slowly sinking, which draws your eye to a tower, a solid structure in the middle of the ocean. Having no choice, you swim to the tower onto the staircase, where you find your way to a door which you go into. When you enter, the doors close behind you and the lights automatically turn on. An uneasy feeling starts to develop. You find small clues into where you are. A giant bust with a banner and a plaque that give you insight on the structure's creator. Everything is in an Art Deco style from the 1940s, which lends to the uneasiness. As you follow the steps downward, you come to a submarine which you have no other choice but to go inside. It takes your character down into the ocean. This opening sets up the entire game. It's one of the greatest openings to any video game in existence. Being alone, stranded in the middle of the ocean, and seeing some sort of salvation against all odds. It's a place that you need to survive that seems unreal, but could really exist. What's worse, swimming alone in the ocean, or braving whatever's at the end of that submarine ride? What makes a game memorable? The story, characters, music, environments, the playstyle? Many elements come together to create what they are. When those elements perfectly combine, they create levels that stick with us long after we've played them. These environments are carefully crafted and only exist in digital form. Though they carry much more weight than just being digital images, they evoke wonder and create memories. Memories we hold on to, and get hit with nostalgia when something reminds us of those times we spent playing through them. It's what makes these levels memorable.